All right, we are talking Age of Overlord pre-sales. Should you buy the pre-sales or should you wait till the set's released and then grab them at release? That's what we're going to be talking about today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button. It does help us out tremendously. We have no giveaway today on this video, but we will on the next one. We also don't have any reveals for the giveaway, so we are going to jump right into pre-sales on Age of Overlord. Now, there's a couple things I want to tell you before we get into the actual cards. The first thing is this is something that I make sure that you all know every time. My name is Todd from Kotu Cards, and we sell pre-sales on eBay. But that does not mean that I'm going to tell you that you should be buying the pre-sales. One of the reasons we started this channel is to help Yu-Gi-Oh players buy cards smarter. So with that in mind, how do we approach pre-sales? Well, pre-sales can be a really dirty, nasty game. And you can, and people do quite often, lose big on pre-sales. So when you're looking at pre-sales, what you're trying to determine is the one or two cards that's gonna go up once the set is released. And that's about it. The rest of the cards, they're gonna drop in price a lot. So a lot of people that buy pre-sales, they're overpaying. But typically, there is 1 to 2 cards that do end up going up. And buying pre-sales, you're essentially saying, I've identified one or two cards that's going to go up, so I'm going to jump in and buy it. But you are gambling. Make no mistake about it. Pre-sales is a dirty, nasty, gambling game. But it can be a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot. And it's probably my favorite video to make on these sets that are coming out. What pre-sales should we buy? So I'm going to take you over to Gamer's Choice. We're going to look at their pre-sales. I'll also give you some of the prices on eBay from different sellers so that you can see. But before I do that, I'm actually going to take you over to TCG to show you what I've been talking about. So let me bring that up. All right, so if you go over to TCG Player and you look at Duelist Nexus, just so that you can see what I'm talking about, a lot of people went in on Revolution Synchron, bought it in pre-sale, $60 to $65. That is now somewhere around a $35 card. Congratulations, you lost. A lot of people like myself went in on Crimson Dragon for around $20 to $15, which is now sitting around $12. It's actually starting to go up, but congratulations, you lost. The only cards that if you went in on pre-sales, now some of these cards went up because of Age of Overlord, so you're looking at Dark Corridor has gone up because of it, Sinful Spoils has gone up because of it, the Testina cards, Runic Fusion, but the only cards that were cheaper on pre-sales than when the set came out and the week after was Chimera, the King of the Phantom Beast, and the Unchained Yama. So if you went in on those two cards, you won. That was it. The rest, anybody who bought anything else from this set on pre-sales, you lost. If you go over to Cyberstorm Access, the set before it, really the only card that was cheaper on pre-sales than it was when it was released or the week after is Chaos Angel. That's it. And if you remember, you might not, but I do because it was painful. Chaos Angel at early pre-sales was selling for $30. And then it jumped up to $60. The reason I know that is because I sold at least 10 of them for $30. It hurt. It hurt a lot. But It is a very difficult game that you're playing. Let's go over to Gamer's Choice, look at their pre-sales. First of all, you look at deck cores. Here's the thing I want you to know about deck cores. If you are buying deck cores on eBay or Tier Zero or Gamer's Choice, part of the cost of buying deck cores is they force you to buy cards that you don't need. And that is, you know, the nice thing about a deck core is you get it all wrapped up and it comes to you and you get every card. The difficulty of a deck core is a lot of cards you don't need a 3 of. And so you're paying for cards that you don't necessarily need. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The Dia Bellstar, this card, I think it's a 1 of. But if you buy the deck core, you're buying 3 of it at $25 each. Same thing. They just changed this, by the way. Gamer's Choice just changed the Visas deck to only include 1 of the Synchro. But before that, it had 3 of the Synchro. You only need 1. Same thing if you go up here with the Horus cards, you're going to be buying Horus cards that you're not necessarily going to be playing. So the difficulty of deck cores is they force you to buy cards that you don't actually need. The nice thing is you get them all wrapped up. I would not be spending $300 for the Sinful Spoils deck core. I just wouldn't. I would wait, see if it falls out. The Manadium one, I would wait, see if it falls out. I know it's only $50, but still, $50, I think it's going to fall out further than that. A deck core you definitely should not be buying is TG. If you're buying the TG deck core for $55, you're doing this wrong. You're doing pre-sales wrong. This deck core will be $20. Mark my words, it will be $20. Do not spend $50 on this. These, I know that it comes with 2 secrets. You get 3 of them. That's 6 secret rares. I know it comes with, I think, 2 ultra rares as well. So you're getting 2 ultra rares. Trust me, these cards are going to fall out once the set is released. We always have $1, $2, $3 secrets in a set. These will be it. You will be able to pick up this deck core very, very cheap. The Watt, whatever. If you want the Watt for $3, go for it. If you want the Supreme King for $12.99, it's fine. You want Tistina? I think Tistina is a great buy for $12.99. You get all of it. Now I know that the new cards are not as great as some people wanted them to be, but they're still pretty decent, and you're only paying $13. If you have the rest of the core, it's probably worth it to go in, grab them for $13. Will it go down more? Probably. It probably will go down a little bit more. There's 2 ultras in here, I think, and maybe a super or 2, but not anything, no secrets or anything like that. These guys right here, the Ken and again, $2 for all 6 cards. That's a pretty good deal. I don't see that being able to go down any further. I don't know what to make of the Horus deck core. It's only $150. It's not a bad buy, but again, you're buying cards that you don't necessarily need. So I personally would stay away from all the deck cores. So you go over here, you go down to the secret rares, and I'm going to go to the bottom, work my way up. The secret rares, the TG cards, I already told you should not be buying these. There's no way that that's going to be $10 and $5. These are going to be $3 and $1. These are going to be cheap. I guarantee it. So I would not be buying those cards. I would not be buying the Snake Eyes Dragon for $8. I see this more as a $3 card. It will fall out. Just wait for it. The Blessing of Horus. It's not one of the. It's not a great card. I think you probably only need 1 of it or something. I don't even know if people are going to be playing it. I would wait till this falls out. It's not going to be $10. It's not. Visas Samsara, great card. As a Mana DM card player, I love the card. I'm excited about it. Is it a $15 card? I don't think so. I think it's more like a $5 to $8 card. I would be waiting on that. The Imseti, Imseti might be a fair price. It really might be a fair price. If you want to go in and grab Imsetis, I don't think that's a bad buy, but I wouldn't do it. I would wait. I would wait for that card. The Wanted, the Seeker of the Sinful Spoils for $60. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for $60. I think you need like 3 of them. I would wait. It's a great card. I'm not saying it's not a great card. It's part of that little engine. It's also part of the Snake Eyes deck. It's a great card. But I don't know that it's a $60 card, and I would not be spending $60 on it. I think it's at its ceiling right now. So I would not be paying for that. The Diabell Star for $25. I think this might be a good buy. You only need one of it. That's why it's lower in price. It just got new support coming out in the next set. That was just announced. I think this is a pretty decent buy. You can see that it's sold out on Gamer's Choice. I'm not saying it's a great buy. I wouldn't buy it, but if you want the card, I don't think this is a bad buy. You move over here to the Arius, the Labyrinth Butler. This is about one of the few cards that I think is probably a good buy, especially if you're a Labyrinth player and you've been waiting for this card. I might just be tempted to lock it in for $15. Could it go down? Yeah, I think it could go down. I don't think it's, I think it's more like a $10 card, but I don't think it's an awful buy, if that makes sense. I like the card. I also think this card could go up. So that's part of the reason that I don't think it's a bad buy, because it could go down to 10, but I also think this card could be about around $25. So if you wanted to just lock it in and you were fine with $15, not an awful buy. It's really hard for me to tell you to buy SP Little Knight for $80. That's really hard, but I don't see this card going much lower. I think the floor of the card is $60. I'm not sure that it ever is going to see that floor. And I think the ceiling of the card is around $100. So $80 I think is a fair price if you want the card. It's part of the reason I said if I were you, I would consider buying 2 to 3 boxes and hope that you pull it, as well as pull a quarter century. You pull a semi-decent quarter century and an SP Little Knight, and you've pretty much made your money back. And I think that's completely in the realm of possibility. I think there's a decent chance that actually could happen for you. So that's why I recommended buying a couple boxes. But it's hard to justify buying it for $80. It just is. It's a lot of money. So I'm going to jump down to the ultra rares. And in the ultra rares, there is the one card that I think you should be buying. And really the only card that I'm saying you should be buying on pre-sales right now, and that is Ty-PHON, the anti-Zeus, for $20. I think it's on eBay for $25. I think it's a great buy. As far as I'm concerned, locking this card in for $20 is kind of a steal. And the only reason you're getting it for $20 is because this is an ultra and there's going to be a pretty decent number of them on the market. But keep in mind, this card is pretty much like Zeus. And it's like Zeus in the sense that everybody's going to need one. So, although there's going to be a lot of them out there, there's also going to be a lot of demand for this card. $20, I think, is a great price. It's really the only card in this set that I'm saying, if you're buying pre-sales and you're not locking in this card, I don't know what you're doing. This is a really good price on this card. So I would be locking in that card. It's the only card that I'm saying buy it. The other cards that I would say are questionable would be Imseti, and then the other two that I think are closer that you might want to buy is the Labyrinth Butler as well as Diabell Star. But nothing is going to beat Ty-PHON for me at $20. This is a great buy. The Vanquished Soul. Look, if you're a Vanquished Soul player and you need this for your deck, $5. It's $5. Can it go down? Yeah, it can go down, and I think that it probably will go down. But $5 isn't a bad price to lock it in and to get it as early as possible. I don't think anybody's going to beat you up for that. Same thing with the Manadeum Synchro over here. $5 for that. You just need one of it. You can lock that in pre-sales if you want to. Can it go down? Yeah, and I think it will go down. I think you can get it cheaper once the set comes out. Same thing with the original Sinful Spoils. I think it's a decent buy, but I think it will go down once it's released. The rest of the cards, there's some really good commons in here. The Angel Ring is a common. The Glenn and the Ken, those are commons. But you ought to be able to just pick those up for real, for like nothing. People should give them to you. If you were at my locals, I would just give them to you. There's a couple supers that I want to talk about only because they're super cheap. Look, if you're playing Chimera or the Illusion deck or whatever branded Illusion, if you're playing that and you want this card, it's $1. How low do you need it to go? Sure, lock it in on pre-sales. If you're a Pendulum player and you want to exceed the Pendulum, it's $1. Lock it in. These are kind of no-brainers. There's a couple cards down here that I think are really interesting cards. One is Switch Point. It's just a cool little trap card that I would make sure that I have in the set. Do you need to buy it for $1? No. But over here, Synchro Rumble, another one. I would be locking these cards in. Not on pre-sales. You'll be able to get them for like 50 cents, I'm sure. So as far as pre-sales go, and we sell pre-sales, what I would be buying is Ty-PHON, and that's it. And then I would be waiting for the set to release. But I get it. If you're a Pendulum player, if you're a Chimera player, if you play Labyrinth, if you're playing, if you're going to be playing the Horus Engine, you want to lock some of these things in. Some of these cards are fine, but you can wait, and if you do, you'll be rewarded for it. This is not a set where I would buy a lot of pre-sales. I would buy Ty-PHON, call it a day, be done with the pre-sales, wait for them to release. My name is Todd from Go2 Cards. Hit that subscribe button as well as the like, and I will catch you on the next one.